This man conquered the entire known world of ancient China, then declared himself a god king who would live forever. Spoiler, he did not. Our story starts in a China that had been tearing itself apart for over 500 years. 7 kingdoms, endless war. They literally called it the Warring States period. And one kingdom was winning the war of vibes, Qin. Its neighbors nicknamed it the Kingdom of Tigers and Wolves, which is not a compliment. Into this mess, a boy named Yingzheng was born. Prince of the Qin state, the most ruthless, militarized kingdom of them all. His dad died early, so Yingzheng became king of Qin at the ripe, capable age of 13. Obviously, a teenager can't run an empire, so a slippery chancellor named Lu Buwei ran the show, treating the boy king as a handy little puppet. There were even juicy rumors that this chancellor was secretly the boy's real father. Ancient China loved a scandal. Then his mother had an affair with a con man who faked being a eunuch, had 2 secret kids, and launched a coup. It went about as well as you'd expect. By 22, Yingzheng had had enough. He crushed the plotters, exiled the chancellor, and seized total control. And the kingdom he inherited was a war machine. Qin ran on a brutal philosophy called legalism. Obey the law or get obliterated. Simple. He pointed that machine at his 6 rival kingdoms and started checking them off one by one. Han, gone. Zhao, gone. Wei, Chu, Yan. He was so feared that a rival sent an assassin named Jing Kai, who hid a poisoned dagger inside a rolled-up map as a fake gift. The plan failed spectacularly. The king ran circles around his own throne room, dodging the dagger, then turned the tables. Don't bring a knife to an emperor fight. And here's the wild part. He steamrolled all 6 rival kingdoms in just 9 years. 5 centuries of war ended in under a decade. By 221 BC, the last kingdom fell. For the first time ever, all of China was won, and it had one new boss. A regular king title wasn't grand enough for him. So, he invented a brand new word, emperor, and crowned himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. Now ruling a patchwork of 7 cultures, he became obsessed with one idea. Everything must be the same, everywhere. Forever. He forced the whole country to use one single writing system, so an order in the capital could be read 1,000 miles away. He scrapped every local currency for one coin, a round bronze disc with a square hole. The first national money in Chinese history. He standardized weights, measures, and even the exact width of cart axles, so every wagon's wheels fit the same ruts in the road. The man standardized potholes. He also forced one single legal code onto everyone, with punishments so harsh that being late for work could, in theory, cost you your head. He laced the empire with thousands of miles of roads and canals, basically inventing the ancient Chinese highway system. To keep out northern nomads, he connected older walls into one colossal barrier, the great-granddaddy of the Great Wall of China. The catch? These wonders were built by hundreds of thousands of conscripted workers, many of whom died on the job. Progress, Qin style. For himself, he began a palace so enormous that legend says its main hall could seat 10,000 people. Humble, he was not. But his most jaw-dropping project wasn't for the living at all. It was an army, a buried one. He ordered an entire army of life-sized clay soldiers, over 8,000 of them, to be buried with him to fight in the afterlife. Every single one had a unique face, real weapons, and even clay horses, chariots, acrobats, and birds. An entire empire in pottery, all part of a tomb complex so vast it took 700,000 workers nearly 40 years to build. He started it the moment he took the throne, and to keep the tomb's treasures and traps secret, legend says many of the workers who built it were sealed inside. Forever. Back above ground, the first emperor's rule was getting darker. Under legalism, punishments were savage, and dissent was basically illegal. He decided history and philosophy made people question him, so he ordered most books in the empire to be burned. Tellingly, he spared the practical books on farming, medicine, and fortune telling. Knowledge was fine as long as it served him, and when scholars complained, legend says he had hundreds of them buried. He was not a fan of bad reviews. By now, he was the most powerful human alive, ruler of millions, untouchable, and he was absolutely terrified. Because the first emperor had finally met the one enemy his armies, walls and laws could never defeat: death itself. And his desperate, unhinged quest to live forever would become the strangest, most dangerous story of his entire life. It involves magic potions, a fake island, a literal river of mercury, and a corpse hidden in a cart full of fish. But that is part 2. He built an empire that would shape China for 2,000 years. He just couldn't build himself a way out. That's history, the uncool way. Part 2, coming soon.